Hey, True Believers, England Teen here with another batch of new comic book reviews, and as you can see across the board here, we've got the 1DC Future State Dark Detective, and then it's Independence Day, man. We're talking about bite-sized Americana, We Live, in Vampirella, Project, and the Project Superpowers. So kick back, relax, and let's get this party started. Alright, and first up, we're going to be talking about this Dark Detective. Now, the whole thing about this, and this is what had me nervous about the Future State Dark Detective, was Mariko Tamaki. See, she ruined She-Hulk. And I mean ruined She-Hulk. Normally it's like, oh, well, it's a bad run. Forget about it. Oh my gosh, it was all about getting coffee. It was boring as hell. I just did not care for it. Jennifer Walters wasn't Jennifer Walters, so I was nervous about picking this up. Just because of that. Now, she wrote a Supergirl story I enjoyed, so which did we get here? We find there's a Bruce Wayne on the run. Apparently, he's presumed dead after getting shot. Funny thing is, Batman is presumed dead after getting shot as well. Just saying. Magistrate is after both of them. And it's after the whole mask crash down, which doesn't make sense to me considering they actually have a... The head of the magistrate's security force here, number one, it's something number like protector number one. Oh, peacekeeper number one. There it is. Anyway, he's wearing a mask. And I can't get past the fact that all of the peacekeepers are wearing masks. And this is because of a mayor who didn't like masks. It just doesn't make sense. Now, if he was... I have a feeling there's going to be a mystery surrounding who this peacekeeper number one is. But it just doesn't make sense. If you're trying to get rid of masks, why would you have all your law enforcement wear masks? That's the only complaint I have about this book, by the way. I know, right? Shocking just to hear that. It's everything I wanted in a future state. To tell you the truth, there's world building. I get to know a little bit about what's going on, just enough to make me want to find out more, but enough that I know what's going on in the book, in the story, what everybody's motivations are. This was a well-told story. I was actually surprised. I am a person who came into this book actively seeking not to like it. I mean, I wanted to like it, so I don't know if the actively is the right word, but full on expecting not to like it because of Mariko Tamaki's involvement. She nailed it. She absolutely nailed it. Now, the next story here is the Grifter story, and this was a lot of fun as well. I forget the guy. His name just passed by if you want to rewind it a little bit. It's well told. It's an exciting story. It's funny. It's entertaining. Not a lot not to like here. Grifter is in a bar and he gets in some trouble. Then some cops show up and he gets chased by cops. This is, however, as far as storytelling is concerned, another one that's done well. You don't get all of the motivation, but this time the motivation isn't clear, not on the Grifter. He's trying to survive, but on why the magistrate is trying to get him. Now, he meets up with Luke Fox, Batwing, and he's like, well, they're just trying to round up anybody who has information on the rest of the capes and everything. And so we assume that's the reason why he's being rounded up. And of course, he doesn't want to be captured. Very simple story, very simply told, very well told, and a lot of fun. And that's the most important word here. That's the active word as far as the Detective Comics is concerned. I mean, both stories, even though the Batman story is more grim, it's still a heck of a lot more fun than, say, the Wonder Woman book was, which I didn't like. So there you go. These two are good stories. I am looking forward to reading the next issue of Detective Comics. Now, fingers crossed that the quality holds up. We know it can both, it just can go sideways in an issue. But as it's told, right now, I have to say, Dark Detective is one of my favorite of the Future State books. I don't know if this is still on the shelves. It's bite-size number 1 of 4. I've only seen this first issue, tell you the truth. You know what? Upshot is just doing some really good books, man. I've got some stories to tell anyways, and to talk about other miniseries. But this one's just as fun. It's like this little weird AI robot thing gets out, and gets out of whatever lab it was created in, hooks up to a truck, ends up at this family's house on Christmas, and it's that's it. I mean, it's the setup to what looks like a pretty decent horror film where the family is battling this robot, or it might turn into an E.T. thing. The ending is very much on the horror side, and frankly, that might be a little bit more fun to see the horror side of it, because we see this family and they're full on just family. The little girl here, the one in the yellow shirt, you see her, she's supposed to be like 6 or 7, yet in the close-ups on the faces, she's definitely a teenager. In the long shots, though, they got her down as a little kid. It's a very simply told story. The dog, by the way, does know that the robot's in the trees, and he gets worried, and he's trying to help the family out and all that. I liked it. I had a good time with it. I don't think it's going to win any awards, and it might be one of these stories where you read, you walk away, and wait, didn't I read this story before? You know, it's not going to be the most memorable thing. But you know what? While you're reading it, I think there's a good time to be had here. Okay, confession time. So, as far as Post-Americana is concerned by Steve Scroshy, I might as well read his name since it's passing by right here. I didn't like it. First time I read it, I was like, yeah, this seems like one of those books that tries real hard. It's post-America. Like, you've got it's kind of like an opposite of Escape from New York, where the good part of the city's walled off, the bad part of the city is, I guess that would be Judge Dredd, wouldn't it? Anyway, yeah, so the president, of course, no allusions to the fact that they're trying to make him seem like Donald Trump. Gives us a little speech, and there's a bit of a revolution and everything. The 2 guys that cause it get out, and their plane is shot down, and we meet this guy, kind of a self-made superhero of sorts. He's running this little camp, and we meet this girl who follows him. They go and they find these 2 guys that got shot down, and all higgledy-piggledy breaks loose. Because at first you think, oh, okay, all right, we're setting up the world, blah, 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 yada, yada. Some deadly killer chickens come in, and that was kind of interesting. But then all of a sudden you find out that that girl isn't on the guy's side at all, and more brains get blown out. That's basically the gist of this. In any way, shape, or form that you could have somebody blow another person's brains out, that's what's going on here. Now, I did like the cannibal character and the reaction everybody had to him. That was kind of fun. This is not for the weak at heart, as you can see by the art going by. Overall, I got to say, I'm glad I gave it a second chance. Once again, it's not a great book, but it is kind of fun. Vampirella, The Dark Powers. I was looking forward to this as soon as I heard about it, man. Seriously. I ended up getting this Peach Momoko cover. I wanted one of the good ones. I mean, this one was all right, but I wanted this one right here. Man, that is a decent cover right there, man. That's what I wanted. Anyway, so we basically have Vampirella teaming up with what's essentially all the Golden Age public domain characters, okay? Dan Abnett's writing, and I gotta tell you, I'm a Dan Abnett fan now, ever since I read his run on Aquaman, and yeah, it works. It really does. I like this. We first see Vampirella doing the Vampirella thing. She's just going through the bad guys, or at least we're told they're bad guys, like they're tissue paper. Problem is she's now on the Project Superpowers team. And they're a bunch of people who follow the Golden Age code. Superheroes don't kill. And that is a bit of a problem. So most of this book, most of it, is talking about the differences between the Project Superpowers crew and Vampirella herself. The Black Terror, even though I have seen, and some of the other heroes bring it up, even though he has on occasion gone beyond the realm of the Golden Age, he still looks down. Actually, most of them look down on Vampirella and the fact that she's basically a vampire and she's violent and so forth and so on. And all that her dialogue is basically, yeah, and I'm a vampire. What do you want? You know, because she is really only being true to herself as far as all of these things are concerned. And I do. I like the dichotomy of it all. Art is a little iffy in some cases, works in some others. So that's probably the weak part of this story. But overall, man, I could recommend this pretty highly, too. I can't help but notice, as far as We Live is concerned, by the way, by the Miranda brothers, that we are getting a whole bunch of these. The Earth is no longer inhabitable because of this, that, or the other. As far as comic books are concerned, there's a lot of wow, there's a lot of cynicism as far as what the Earth is or can do, or yeah, it's just all over the place now. We Live is a decent story, though. I can recommend this book. I like it. So the Earth is uninhabitable. They've got the protagonists have to get a bus full of kids to the final shuttle off the planet, and of course things go wrong. So instead of going by bus and getting there in just a little bit, it's like, oh my gosh, we only have this much time to do it in, and go. Can we make it? It's one of those things. Like I said, on the way there, they get derailed and have to walk. And so far, so good. We get to know all the characters, or at least the main ones right now. I'm sure we'll get to know everybody else in future issues and such. But for now, it was a really good world-building issue. You can see by the art, that's strong as well. It created some good tense moments, and they seem natural and not just because, hey, we need an action scene here. So I got to tell you, I mean, all the ducks fell right in a row, and this is one hell of an entertaining independent comic book. Alrighty, gang, as you know, I like to sum up everything at the end, and I like to put them from what I like the best to what I like the least. Tell you the truth, no losers here. But it did take 2 read-throughs for me to get to like Post-Americana, which I don't think is going to be for everybody anyway. Next up, I got to go with the bite-sized. Yeah, a little simple in the artwork, a little simple in the storytelling. I'm looking forward to issue number 2, but the thing is, not as much as, say, Dark Powers or any of the ones that are above it. I liked seeing Vampirella interact with the Golden Age heroes, and I want to see more of this. Also, next, I have to say Dark Detective. Good story, looking forward to it. The Grifter's a little bit weaker than the Detective Comics story, but still pretty damn good, and We Live is top freaking notch stuff. I'm really into this series now. Independent comic books are just kicking all sorts of butt these days. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell if you haven't done it already, making sure that notifications are on all. And if you don't mind helping out the channel, going over to Patreon or to Ko-Fi, drop $1 into the till, helps keep the lights on, helps keep making videos for you. Thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.